The federal government will pay you up to $8,000 to replace your furnace. That is not a typo. It is not a scam. It is a funded federal program, signed into law, operational right now in over a dozen states. The program has been live since 2023, and in California, when homeowners finally learned it existed, the funding was fully reserved within months. Gone. The technology behind this program is 170 years old. It outperforms your gas furnace by a factor of 4. The average American household spends $9,000 to $13,000 on a new heating and cooling system. Under this program, qualifying households pay $0, yet more than 80% of eligible homeowners have never heard of it, because nobody told them. $4.5 billion allocated by Congress. No national ad campaign, no public awareness effort, not a single primetime commercial. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to claim every dollar you are owed, and you will understand why this information was never handed to you. To understand why this program exists, you need to understand what a heat pump actually does and why it terrifies the natural gas industry. Welcome to this channel. This is where buried government programs get surfaced, where suppressed practical knowledge gets documented before it disappears. If you have ever suspected that programs designed to save you thousands of dollars were deliberately made difficult to find, you are in the right place. Subscribe now, not because I need the number, because programs like this get cut, funding runs out, and if you are not paying attention the moment a new one launches, you miss it entirely. This channel exists for people who would rather know than be comfortable. Now let me show you what a heat pump actually is. A heat pump does not generate heat, it moves it. Think of your refrigerator. Your fridge pulls warmth out of the food compartment and pushes it into your kitchen. That is why the back of your fridge feels warm. A heat pump does the same thing, but with your entire house. In winter, it extracts heat from the outdoor air and moves it inside. In summer, it reverses. It pulls heat from your home and dumps it outside. One machine. Heating and cooling. No combustion, no gas line, no carbon monoxide risk. Now here is the number that matters. A gas furnace burns fuel to create heat. The absolute best gas furnace on the market converts about 98% of its fuel into warmth. That sounds impressive until you understand what a heat pump does. A heat pump does not burn anything. It moves existing heat. And because moving heat takes far less energy than creating it, a heat pump delivers 3 to 4.5 units of heat for every 1 unit of electricity it consumes. That is a coefficient of performance of 3.0 to 4.5. Your gas furnace has a coefficient of performance below 1. Cold climate models now operate effectively down to minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. This is not experimental. This is thermodynamics, and the history proves it. In 1824, French physicist Nicolas Léonard Sadi Carnot published the foundational work on heat engine theory. In 1852, William Thomson, later Lord Kelvin, formally described the heat pump concept. 3 years later, in 1855, Austrian engineer Peter von Rittinger built the first working heat pump system at Salt Works in Ebensee, Austria. By 1857, that system had saved the energy equivalent of 300,000 square meters of firewood. In 1937, the Zurich City Hall in Switzerland installed a heat pump system. It ran continuously for 64 years, until 2001. Not because it failed, because the building was renovated. In the late 1940s, American engineer Robert C. Weber built what is widely credited as the first residential ground source heat pump. And in the 1980s and 90s, Japanese manufacturers developed inverter compressor technology that reduced heat pump energy consumption by 40% and allowed precise temperature control. This technology is older than the light bulb, older than the telephone. A Swiss government building ran on one for 6 decades without replacement. So if this technology is 170 years old and 4 times more efficient than gas, why is it not in every home in America? That answer involves money, and not yours. Before I show you who is blocking this and exactly how to claim your rebate, I want to mention something. The research behind this video took weeks. The full document, the state-by-state funding tracker, the contractor vetting checklist, the income verification worksheet, the complete rebate stacking calculator. All of that lives in the vault. The link is in the description. No fluff, no filler, just the raw research organized so you can act on it in one afternoon. But stay here, because the step-by-step claim process is coming later in this video, and you need every piece of what I'm about to tell you to use it correctly. Now let me show you what the data actually says about who is adopting this technology and who is fighting it. The Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 appropriated $4.5 billion for the High Efficiency Electric Home Rebate Act, known as HEEHRA. This is a point-of-sale rebate program, meaning the discount is applied at the time of purchase, not as a tax credit you wait months to receive. The maximum rebate for a heat pump under HEEHRA is $8,000, but the program goes further. Up to $1,750 for a heat pump water heater. up to $4,000 for an electrical panel upgrade, up to $2,500 for wiring, up to $1,600 for insulation. The single home maximum across all categories is $14,000. Eligibility is based on your area median income. If your household income falls below 80% of your area median income, you qualify for 100% of the rebate. If you fall between 80 and 150%, you qualify for 50%. Above 150%, you do not qualify for HEEHRA, but you are eligible for the separate 25C tax credit. I say were for a reason I will explain in 2 minutes. As of late 2025, or 13 states had launched their HEEHRA programs. The rollout has been staggered, slow, and fragmented by design. Each state administers its own version. There is no single federal portal where you type in your address and see what you qualify for. Meanwhile, the adoption data tells its own story. Heat pumps have outsold gas furnaces for 3 consecutive years. In 2024, the margin was 27%. Over 20 years, heat pump sales have increased 70%, while gas furnace sales have declined 7%. Heat pumps now account for 47% of all cooling equipment sales. 20% of American homes had a heat pump by 2023. Maine tripled the number of homes using electric heating from 28,050 in 2014 to 79,160 in 2023. Globally, 140 million heat pumps are in operation. The technology is not emerging. It has emerged. Now here is where it gets ugly. The 25C residential clean energy credit allowed any homeowner, regardless of income, to claim up to $2,000 per year for heat pump installation. No income verification, no state-by-state application. You bought the equipment, you filed an IRS form 5695, you got the credit. Simple. In 2023, 3.4 million American households claimed approximately $8 billion in residential energy credits through programs like this. It was working. The simplest pathway to adoption was functioning exactly as designed, and then they killed it. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act eliminated the 25C credit. The one program that required no bureaucratic navigation, no income verification, no state portal, no pre-approval. Gone. At the same time, an executive order paused disbursement of Inflation Reduction Act funds, creating uncertainty about whether HEEHRA money already appropriated would actually reach states. Ask yourself a question. $4.5 billion allocated by Congress. The most accessible pathway eliminated legislatively. No national advertising campaign, no federal website, no public service announcement. 3 years of administrative delay before most states even launched their programs. Is this incompetence? Maybe. But consider who benefits from the delay. Natural gas is the fuel source for 43% of American electricity generation. It is the dominant residential heating fuel. Every single heat pump installation permanently removes a customer from the gas utility's billing system. A fully electrified home with rooftop solar and battery storage becomes functionally independent of both the gas grid and potentially the electric grid. That is not a customer switching brands. That is a customer disappearing. The gas industry has spent decades branding natural gas as clean. It has lobbied for state-level preemption laws that block local governments from banning new gas hookups. A $440 million electrification proposal in Colorado faced enormous industry opposition. There is no commercial entity with a comparable financial incentive to advertise HEEHRA. Heat pump manufacturers benefit, but the rebate program itself has zero marketing budget. J. Gordon Cook wrote in The Spectator in 1948 that the heat pump was ichneumon-like, a technology whose commercial viability the fuel industry had every reason to suppress. Nearly 80 years later, the pattern has not changed. Allocate the money, fragment the access, delay the rollout, eliminate the simplest pathway. Let the funding quietly expire. I want to be clear, I am showing you documented facts. The legislative timeline is public record. The industry lobbying is documented. Whether the bureaucratic delay was intentional strategy or garden variety government incompetence is a question I cannot answer with certainty. What I can tell you is that the structural outcome is identical either way. The money exists. Almost nobody knows. None of that changes what you can do right now. Here is exactly what is still available and how to claim it. If this is the kind of information you need, subscribe. Not for me, because the next program that gets quietly funded and never advertised, I will find it. I will document it. And if you are subscribed, you will know before the funding runs out. Now, before I give you the step-by-step instructions, I owe you the honest limitations. Because I am not here to sell you a heat pump. I'm here to make sure you have complete information. First, efficiency drops in extreme cold. Cold climate models work to minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit, but below freezing, coefficient of performance decreases. In the coldest regions, you may need backup electric resistance heating for the worst days of the year. That backup is less efficient. Factor it in. Second, electricity prices are rising. In 2023, the average residential electricity rate increased 6%, reaching 15 to 16 cents per kilowatt hour nationally. In California, rates are roughly double the national average. If electricity costs spike, your operating savings shrink. Third, without rebates, the upfront cost is significant. The average installed cost for an air source heat pump is approximately $17,000. Ground source systems can exceed $30,000. A standard 3-ton system runs $9,000 to $13,000 installed. Fourth, average savings for switching from gas are moderate. The Department of Energy estimates approximately $370 per year for a gas to heat pump conversion. Or if you are replacing oil or propane, savings jump to $1,000 to $3,000 per year. Gas-heated homeowners benefit most from the rebate itself, not necessarily the operating cost reduction. Fifth, funding is first come, first served. California proved that when homeowners discover these programs, money moves fast. Sixth, the refrigerant transition adds complexity. The EPA rule effective January 2026 mandates a shift from R410A to lower global warming potential A2L refrigerants with a GWP below 700. Equipment purchased now may use the older refrigerant. This does not affect performance, but it affects long-term servicing availability. Those are real constraints. They do not change the fundamental math. A device that delivers 4 units of heat for every 1 unit of energy consumed, backed by up to $14,000 in rebates, with 170 years of proven operation, remains the single most efficient way to heat and cool a home. But you deserve the full picture before you act on it. Now that you know the real picture, here is the exact process to claim what you are owed. Step 1. Calculate your area median income percentage. Go to the Department of Housing and Urban Development Income Limits page. Find your county. Compare your household income to the area median income. Below 80% qualifies for 100% rebates. 80 to 150% qualifies for 50%. Step 2. Check whether your state has launched its HEEHRA program. Use the Department of Energy Home Energy Rebate Tracker. If your state has not launched, bookmark the tracker and check monthly. When it launches, funding will be first come or first served. Step 3, find an approved contractor. Your state program will maintain a list of participating contractors. Do not hire a contractor who is not enrolled in the program. The point of sale discount only works through approved participants. Step 4, complete income verification before installation. Do this first, not after. Your contractor and state program will specify required documentation. Have it ready before you schedule the work. Step 5. Reserve your rebate before installation begins. In most launched states, you or your contractor must submit a reservation application before work starts. If you install first and apply later, you may not qualify. Step 6. Select Energy Star certified equipment. This is not optional. The rebate requires certified equipment. Verify the specific model number against the Energy Star product database before purchase. Step 7. At the point of sale, the rebate is applied as a discount. You pay the difference. This is not a reimbursement you wait months for. The discount happens at purchase. Confirm this process with your contractor and state program administrator before signing any contract. Step 8. For installations completed before 2026, if you are eligible for the 25C credit and installed qualifying equipment while it was active, file IRS Form 5695 with your federal tax return to claim any remaining credit. This pathway is now closed for future installations. Step 9. Stack state and utility rebates. Check the DSIRE database, the database of state incentives for renewables and efficiency. Many states and local utilities offer additional incentives on top of HEEHRA. These stack. Do not leave money on the table. Step 10. If your state program requires it, enroll in a demand response program. Some utilities offer additional incentives for allowing brief, limited adjustments to your heat pump during peak grid demand. This is increasingly common and can further reduce your annual costs. That is the map. 10 steps, everyone concrete, everyone actionable today. Now here is why this moment matters more than any other. You just learned about a technology that has worked for 170 years, a technology that a Swiss government building ran for 64 years without replacement, a technology that delivers 4 times the heating efficiency of the best gas furnace ever manufactured. Congress allocated $4.5 billion to put this technology into American homes. 3 years passed before most states even launched the program. The simplest access pathway, the 25C credit, was legislatively eliminated. No national advertising campaign was ever conducted. No federal website was built to help you apply. And when California homeowners finally discovered the program, funding was reserved within months. You now know more about this program than 94% of American homeowners. That is not a compliment. It is an indictment of the system that was supposed to inform you. The money is still there in launched states right now. But it is first come, first served. And the political window that created this funding is closing. Someone you know qualifies for this, a family member, a neighbor, a coworker who just complained about their heating bill. Send them this video, not because I asked, because $8,000 is life-changing money, and the only thing standing between them and that rebate is the fact that nobody told them it existed. Now you have told them.